Man, I don't even know if this is actually working. Um, I will say if someone is watching, just to go into the chat and let me know, and then we can start talking about the Mandalorian. Pretty much. I don't even think it's actually on YouTube yet. I'll just use my phone. I think it's on Twitter, which actually kind of sucks to be honest. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Well, I guess actually it might be. It looks like yeah, it is. It definitely is. But I know it released on Twitter pretty much instantly. Or not pretty much instantly. It came out like maybe 20 minutes ago. And I know YouTube was blocked for a bit. So that sucks. Well, it did suck until it came online, but it's online now, which is all good. Just let me check. Oh, Phil, I see you're in the chat. How are you doing? Man, I don't even know if I'll ever go live again. This is completely different to video making. But I might do in the future, I don't know. It depends. That's good to hear. I assume you've seen the trailer? Well, I hope you've seen the trailer, or else you might get spoiled. It's probably on Twitter, it's being spoiled everywhere, Discord. I got trolled, actually, would you believe? Someone said Ahsoka and Rex are in it, and I was like, did I just get spoiled for this? And I was very annoyed for that. But I didn't get spoiled, so you'll have to see it. So man, what did you think of the trailer? I quite liked it. There wasn't actually too much going on in the trailer itself. There was like maybe, oh man, imagine it dropping while you're getting a haircut. That's even worse. That's like the worst place it could be. Can't even stop mid haircut too for 2 minutes to watch it. It's unlucky. But I think this is good news because more than likely trailers, merchandise, and all of that will start releasing pretty much today. As in there'll be more merchandise, t-shirts, action figures, all of that will probably be dropping later on today, I would assume. Yeah, I agree with that. We didn't see too many characters. We saw maybe a good few side characters. We saw obviously the Mandalorian himself, Baby Yoda, Grief Cargo, and then Cara Dune. And after that, it was pretty much limited to stormtroopers on speeder bikes, X-wings, which I think is actually very interesting. That actually could be very much linked into the Mandalorian helping the New Republic, or Ahsoka being on one of them, which is what I've seen people say. I don't know how true that could be, but it'd be interesting. Man, I don't know. Should I just make a video on it, or should I just keep the stream up? I don't know. I feel the need to sit down and make a video about it, but I guess I can go and stream for maybe 15 more minutes or something along those lines, maybe 5 minutes to try and make it. If I do 5 minutes, I can keep it up as an actual video itself, but I don't know. I'll just have to decide in a few minutes. So even for the thumbnail of this live stream, I tried not to make it spoilery, so I just kind of added in like 2 pictures I found on the internet. Pretty much added in something that is pretty much art of someone making it up, like a few months ago, and then I added in pretty much whatever I found. Like, it came up like 5 days ago, so I just thought I'd put it on. But I didn't really want to put something massive on it. I didn't want to put something in the trailer onto it. That just wouldn't be good. That would be kind of bad form to someone who hasn't seen it and just getting spoiled. Don't want to do that. But man, I know there's quite a lot of people who are going live right now for Star Wars, especially just because, and it makes sense to be honest, because trailer dropped. It took a long time. This was rumored for pretty much 3 weeks ago, back in the NBA playoffs, which is, well, I mean, I don't watch them, but if you're if you're just watching the game for a trailer itself, that is quite unlucky. I mean, I don't think I'll ever do that, to be honest. It just doesn't sound like me. But I will say, what was your favorite moment? Well, yeah, what was your favorite moment in the trailer? We can now officially talk about it. Man, would you believe actually, I was in the middle of sitting down, recording a video. I was like 4 minutes into it about when the trailer could drop today. And then I get a message from a friend saying it already dropped on Twitter, and I panicked. So I basically had to scrap all of that, on top of going live out of a spur of a moment kind of thing, and then possibly making a video. But I will say, at least we do have a trailer, like an official trailer. We have an official look at season 2, and we now have, it'll probably be updated on the Disney Plus app, to be honest, about new stills and all of that, whatever was in the trailer, even though it leaked. I mean, it leaked for, I don't even know how long it was up actually. It came up maybe at 11 p.m. EST. I know that's when a lot of people went live and they were talking about it. But man, I'm very hyped for this season. I can't wait, even though it's only 8 episodes. I mean, that sucks itself, but I mean, it is what it is. And I heard they were gonna vary out the episodes a lot more, so it's gonna be, as in the time wise, X-Wing's Mando looked dope. I don't know, we didn't really see a lot except Mando flying and stuff. That's very true. We did see him on a boat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we saw him on a boat on some planet. I heard someone say it was Camino actually, and I think that's just going out on a wild limb, to be honest. I don't think that's anything too special. I really doubt it's Camino, but if it is, that's a win in my book. More Camino, I'm happy. What else was there? I think there was some audio from season 1 about bringing Baby Yoda, to his like people, and then they basically mentioned that Jedi were sorcerers, which I think actually it does go back into Mandalorian lore that they were sorcerers of some degree, as in they use the Force. So I don't know. I'm not incredibly familiar on the Mandalorian lore. I know Star Wars lore. It's just when it goes into subcategories of species, I'm just not very good. Did you see the girl looks like Sabine? I did see the girl, but I didn't think it looked like Sabine at all. I thought it was just a random cultist, I guess you could kind of call it. I don't even know. She could be Force sensitive to some degree. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 6-7 weeks. Either way, that's not a long time, but it is 8 episodes. I know season 3 will probably be delayed to some degree just because of everything that's happening in the world, COVID and all. It would only make sense for it to be delayed. I've mentioned it before, but you know, if it is Sabine, I will be very happy. I think this could connect to Ahsoka, if it is Sabine, obviously. But I mean, there's been rumors for a long time that there will be basically a backdoor pilot in The Mandalorian for the Rebel sequel, which I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's unlikely. I mean, I could just be wrong in saying that, but I mean, I would love to see it. I really would. The Rebel sequel itself, I don't know how long that would be away. Maybe a year or 2, I would expect. Bad Batch is next year. We don't know much about that show, to be honest. We just know it's next year, which, I mean, I'm happy with that. Then we have the Kenobi show in 2022, I think. And then The Mandalorian will probably continue yearly for the next few years, I would expect. And then spin-offs, I would just assume. But either way, having seen the trailer, the first, like the actual opening to the trailer, I loved. I thought that was amazing. It looked great. CGI wise, I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. I don't think there's actually anything wrong with it, considering it is Disney and they have a massive like $80 million budget for a TV show like this, where it's only 8 episodes. It's wild. Like, if you compare this to the show that's coming out in a few years, the Lord of the Rings TV show, which is 20 episodes and a $200 million budget for 20 episodes. For a first season, this is still a massive first season. This is Game of Thrones level CGI and budget for the first season. Well, basically for the Game of Thrones, the last few seasons had the budget for the first season of the Mandalorian, and how that works out, which is great, to be honest. I'm massively in love with this. I think it's great. A Kenobi show, man, I can't wait for the Kenobi show. It's only going to be, is it like 4 or 6 episodes? It was confirmed it will only be a 1 season kind of thing, and they want to do it perfectly, which I respect, and I obviously wanted it to be perfect too, but it is going to be a good year or two away, and maybe even delayed from that. We don't actually know. I would hope it's not too delayed, but in saying that, it really could be. It's wild, to be honest. Even looking at the future of Star Wars, it's only going to get bigger. Like, that's legit just it. But when it comes down to it, it's like, it'll get bigger, but it's going to be spaced out. Like, it's going to be incredibly spaced out before we have another movie. Another movie isn't happening until earliest 2023-ish, which, I mean, that's painful. It's just painful to see. But, I mean, we do have content on Disney Plus, especially considering we have TV shows. So I'm very happy with that. I think as long as we have content and live action content at that, or even animated, to be honest, as long as we're getting new content, it's great. But you have the people who do the comics and read comics and novels and all of that. And I mean, that's not everyone, but they do have more content coming out. There's a new comic coming out in January-ish, The High Republic, which is probably going to interest a lot of people. I'll definitely be reading it I'm probably going to read all of it, to be honest. I'll probably go on the actual release day and get it. But either way, not everyone's going to go out of their way to read a comic, and I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, for me personally, I just will. I don't know if you guys will. I don't know how much of a fan of Star Wars you are. If you're a big Die-Hard fan, if you're kind of the kind of movie, TV show kind of person, or whatever you are, it's really just up to you, and it's what you're interested in. Man, what a day for a trailer. I'm pretty sure it's only a Tuesday. Tuesday? Is it? Yeah, it's only Tuesday. I mean, I was expecting a Friday release date for The Mandalorian. I won't lie to you. I really did expect a Friday release. But, I mean, I'm quite happy. I have a video actually recorded from like a week ago saying when I expect the trailer will drop, which is pretty much useless now. So that's just me. That's just on me being lazy to edit, and that's just my fault. But I do have other videos which are recorded on the same day, but they probably mention the trailer will be a few weeks away, which I will release eventually. It's just they're not up to date, if you know what I mean. They were recorded like a week or two ago, so that's just my fault anyway. But I probably will, in like 5 or so minutes, end this off and go and make a video, just because I feel like I have to, and it's going to be great to speak down and talk about it, do all of that. For a release time on that video, I mean, I would expect as soon as possible, which is, I mean, probably around noon EST, I would expect. It's not going to be late anyway, I can tell you that for a fact. I'll put it up as soon as I can, but I still have like 5 more minutes to sit down, so man, I think there's going to be a big time jump. Not like a big time jump, but I think there will be a time jump to some degree. And to be honest, time jumps, I'm very iffy on time jumps in movies and TV shows because it can never be done perfectly. I've never seen someone do like a time jump and do it perfectly. If you go to Avengers Endgame, actually, when they do a 5-year time jump, right? But it's not, in my opinion, it's not that good of a time jump. it's just I don't even know how long of a time jump this could even be. I know Grief Karga, he has like a grey beard now, and in the first season he had just, it was fully black. So I would assume it's going to take a while to get grey hairs, maybe a year or so. I don't actually know, but that's just me taking a guess. I just want to see Rex and Ahsoka. Me too, man, but I don't know. We don't know if it's confirmed. That's like the only problem. There's been rumor, like, I mean, Boba Fett is quite likely to show up and probably will show up. Bo-Katan probably will show up because in canon she is the last person who has the Darksaber. So even a mention of her is like the least they could actually do for that character. Then you have people like Ahsoka, where Ahsoka, Sabine, they could show up. Rex would be very old. Rex would be maybe in his 80s technically during this show, even though he's 40 years old. He's 80 over the double aging or genetic coding, whatever he has. So I mean, if he does show up, he probably won't be in a fight. He probably won't be moving around too much. So that's, I've heard people even say Cody will show up in this TV show. I really don't know about that one. It's just, I mean, I would be very happy for it, but I don't feel like that's very likely itself. There's been, like, you know, even title quote unquote leaks and everything along those lines, which they've been out for, I don't know, maybe a few months, saying episode 5 with a sorcerer. I really doubt. Well, I mean, technically it could happen, and when you say sorcerer in Mandalorian lore, it does mean someone who uses like the Force sensitivity or uses the Force in general. So I mean, it's not impossible. It could be correct, but I wouldn't say it is likely. I'd be fine with seeing Rex in Clone Wars flashbacks. Yes, I would be very happy with that. I think that would be great. If they're going to do Rex, they'd have to do it in flashbacks, I feel. What are you going to do with an 8-year-old man in like a TV show, a live action TV show? Like, no offense to him, obviously, but it's like, what good could he do to help the Mandalorian? I mean, he did fight in a war. He was genetically bred to fight in a war, so he could be, in that instance, he could be very helpful. But I mean, it's like, I'm not saying I don't want to see it. It's just, I think it's unlikely compared to flashbacks. Like, I've heard rumors there's meant to be flashbacks for the Kenobi TV show. I mean, I'm completely happy with that. I think that would be perfect. Going back to like the Clone Wars and live action, different angles, maybe even the Clone Wars itself to some degree being, I guess, live action, I'd be completely fine with it. I think that would be great. Hayden Christensen has been rumored to come back too. That's been rumored for a long time. I mean, I don't know how likely that is as well. I mean, I would. I want to see him, right? But it's like, there's been so many rumors for so long. How do we know exactly what is a rumor, what isn't a rumor, what are people making up? Especially on Reddit. Like, Reddit is probably one of the worst places you can go to for news, just because of how, I guess, toxic in a sense, but how unrealistic it can be, where anyone can make a quote-unquote news article. But I'm sure the woman in the hood is Sabine. I don't know. I mean, I'd be very happy, but it could be possible, but I think it might be a bit too early to judge. I want to wait. I really want to wait until the actual episodes come out, because I think the first, 3 episodes are dropping at once. I have a video on that recorded as well, like from like a week ago. I'll make that come out soon enough. Either way, it's meant to be the first, on like October 30th, it's meant to be 3 episodes, and then the week after is 1 episode. So I mean, we could end off on a massive cliffhanger where we see someone in a hood look like Sabine or Ahsoka, which would be crazy, and it could happen. But it's like, we have to wait. We have to wait 6 or 7 weeks to find out. I just want to see the Clone Wars in live action. Man. I just want to see the Clone Wars clones, and yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, we did see a few of them, technically, in Revenge of the Sith, but I really do want to see more clones, even if they're old. Like, even if they're old and retired and they're just like hanging down in some abandoned area or whatever, I would be very happy just to even have the idea. Can I get a RIP 5s? Like, if 5s made it, it'd be great. like there's so many clones, like Jesse as well. There are so many clones that could have been perfect if they actually had survived Order 66. Like take for instance, like 5. I mean technically Echo is alive, but we don't know if he's like around at this current time in the timeline. We know he's going to be in the Bad Batch TV show, which is great. I mean, I'm very happy for that. I'm excited for that show. It's just we don't have any official news for that yet, and we probably won't have news for another maybe 5-6 months, which sucks. But we have the Mandalorian, we have Kenobi TV show coming soon. The Bad Batch is after the Mandalorian. Season 3 of the Mandalorian I would assume would begin filming very soon, but in saying that, I don't really know. I would hope so anyway. I mean, it depends how everything with COVID is working in that certain country and how the restrictions are and how much they have to do. Script wise, I think that can be done at home. That's perfectly fine at home. But if you actually kind of sit down and you try to record anything, it's not going to work out because it's just no one's going to be able to be around each other unless they do where there is a somewhat maybe group of 12 and they get tested every 2 weeks. I think that can work as well, but I don't know. Even I think they record or they can make it in the US, so I know the US isn't doing great right now. I know there's other countries, like I think Israel went into lockdown again, but other countries and some countries are doing very well. Australia is probably doing the best out of any country. I think they have 0 cases and they're completely fine now. But if you compare that to the US, where it's all happening, the US is mental right now. There's no social distancing from what I've seen. That's just what I've seen anyway. It just sucks because considering people don't social distance, it's going to be, obviously health wise, it's going to be terrible, but it's going to affect TV shows and going back to TV shows and just work and everything. So it just really sucks. But I might actually end off the stream here and go and make that video. I might just I don't know how I'll do it. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna end the stream off here. So I might do one later on tonight, but I'll give more notice if I do one. So as in like a community tab, maybe a short video to just say I'm going live. I don't know, but that's only if it does happen. Twitter as well. I'll make sure it's more notified instead of just clicking stream and seeing who shows up. So with that being said, I'll go make that video on The Mandalorian now. I'll try and get it up as soon as possible. When it comes to as soon as possible, I don't know how long that could be. Maybe an hour or two, I would expect. So, well, for the next few hours, unless you go watch that video. If you don't, I hope you have a great day, great rest of your day, or start of your day, or end of your day, wherever you're watching from. With that being said, goodbye.